Good morning and welcome to Saturday Morning Comic Talk. This is a show where we talk with great indie creators about whatever the heck I thought up in the middle of the week. So, today we have Hyde Hermit Studio, aka Dallas and Connie, coming back to the
Hello.
show. So, welcome back.
Yes.
And we also have Alan Carter. He'll be coming eventually. I just messaged him, but I'm sure he's probably, who knows, technical difficulties are always a thing. They can always happen. So we always start things off with introductions. So tell us a little bit about yourself and Hyde Hermit Studios.
Hello, I'm Dallas White. I'm the co-founder of Hyde Hermit Studios.
Hi, I'm Connie. I'm the founder of Hyde Hermit Studio, and here's our mascot and our plush form, Hyde the Hermit Crab. Once again, we've been here multiple times.
Yeah. Hyde has been here, and yes, the book, that's what you have. Is that, I believe that's the one that I got at Comic-Con and is in my classroom.
Yeah, this is the bigger soft cover that we have. But
okay, very cool.
Yeah, we're just learning the ropes about going through, like, trying to get into bookstores, libraries, and such, and they require, oh, by the way, there's like, you gotta get an ISBN number and a bunch of things, and I'm like, great, yes. I need to work on it soon.
I know how that goes. You got to buy the ISBNs, and I had to do it for my trade, and I'm still working to try to get it into different places, but it's just, it's not a fast and easy process, but once you get there, it's great.
Yeah.
All right. So, Alan, welcome in and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, I'm Alan Carter of Carter Comics. I'm the sole creator of the series Cosmic Force, Damn Tourist, and the Figure of Speech Mongoose.
Awesome. All right. And I know I read Damn Tourist, but I guess I gotta catch up because I'll see you tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But since Alan and I are both going to be at cons this week, and I thought we can talk about cons because I don't know if we have before on the show. I mean, the topics, I literally just, at this point I've done so many, I tried to say I'll never repeat a topic, but that's insane. I think we're on 100 shows now, so eventually you got to start repeating them. So we're going to talk about cons though, because Alan and I will be at one tomorrow, so we want to think about what are the best shows we've done and what are the worst shows. And I'm not going to name names, but hey, I'm not going to stop you. If you want to name names at a worst con, go for it. If you want to name names at a best, go for it. But what's just we're thinking about great experiences that you've had at a con, because if you've ever done a con, if you're a creator, they are a lot of work. I mean, there's a lot of pleasure that comes with those, but it's not easy. I mean, for me, I don't sit down, so I end up with really sore feet by the end of it. I yell out at everyone that's near enough to my table to be pitched to. I pitch to them, so I end up with no voice. But I guess I'm a marathoner and a teacher, so I've been training for this my whole life. All right, so we're going to get things started with our best con experiences. So, Connie, Dallas, what are some of the great con experiences that you've had?
I think the best con experience is probably TwitchCon, San Diego Comic-Con, and I think probably Megaplex and probably SakuraCon are usually my best experience cons I've ever had.
Mostly it's money-wise, but there's some of the smaller niche markets. Like for us, we do a lot of furry cons, and there's a lot of things going on with people's opinions with furry cons in general. But we always have the best treatments over at majority of them, because a lot of them will give you dinners or lunches. Sometimes you get together with other fellow creatives and do one-on-one talks and everything. But it's like a really different market, that's for sure, than the normie cons. But San Diego Comic-Con is also the best one too as well, because no matter where you are placed, there's going to be dedicated attendees who I will walk the whole entire floor and talk to everybody on the whole entire floor kind of mentality. So that's what I about San Diego Comic-Con, even though that's very, very hard to get into, and we were lucky to get in really last minute last year to the show, which is I was shocked. Oh, we were shocked because we got an
Mhm.
email like, "Hey, do you guys want to like exhibit at San Diego Comic Con? We have a lot of exhibitor space."
Wow. And then see, I'm on the wait list for this year. I have done it before, and you're right, it is a great one. But yeah, I got put on the wait list, so we'll see. Because I know being local to California, it is the kind of thing that if they message me a week before the con, hey, we got a spot, I can
Yeah.
still pull it off. I just got to make sure I grab a hotel because we're going to attend it one way or the other. I'm just waiting for the professional re-verification, but I'm assuming it'll be okay because they approved me with the books that I did, and I've actually, since the last professional one, I think I've published 7 new books, so hopefully that's enough for them. But we'll have the hotel and everything, and if they just at the last minute say, hey, we got a spot for you, I can drive down there. All I got to do is, all right, load the car with books and we're ready to roll. So I'm hoping that works out, but in the end I'll be there one way or the other, just kind of networking and having fun or selling books. But there's no lose in that one. It's just a blast to be there. So yeah, that's always a great one. And then some of the little ones, like you said, they end up being the best things out there. I've had some great experiences at the smallest possible cons where you would think this is just going to be terrible, and it ends up being your best day, with reception to your book and with, actually selling copies of your book.
Oh no, your audio died.
You can find the greatest one will be the one that you had never thought of actually doing. Yeah.
I mean, San Diego Comic Con is probably the only convention I'll definitely say yes to at a last minute thing. I'll be like, yeah, I'm all for it. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one, because I'm thinking if a lot of these cons would message me right before, because I was trying to get into C2E2, and they messaged me a week before like, hey, we got a spot for you. I'm like, yeah, I can't do a quickie planning trip to Chicago. That's, first off, you have to get a last minute flight, so you're going to be paying ridiculous money plus a last minute hotel. I mean, everything about it is just, there's no way you can pull it off quick. But with us being local to Southern California, we can do a San Diego thing, find a quick Airbnb somewhere, and you can get there. Where getting to another state, that's a whole different story. So, Alan, what are some of your great con experiences?
So I have like some really good ones between the larger and smaller conventions or events. So WonderCon's usually number one. That's the most consistently good show I've done, because I've done that since 2012 when they moved from San Diego to Anaheim. And my sales have always increased every year, or they've like leveled off. They've never like lowered. And most people, because it's the first show, particularly to start the convention scene, especially in Southern California, like everyone's like hyped to go to that show. So I'll see, if I don't see the same people, like I'll just see just a lot of people that, again, they'll go around the floor, they'll look at everything. If they don't come Friday, they'll come Saturday and Sunday. But I'll do like the best Friday sales at any 3-day show that I've ever done. So I'm always like jazzed to do that show if I can do it. Now it's a little bit more expensive, but when I did it, it was so much fun. Smaller cons, there's an art walk in Reseda that was happening since 2016.
Okay.
That one was also good because the people who put it together, they knew that area. Like they grew up in the area. So they got like local bands and everything, which drew in, a lot of the local bands were younger. So it drew in like the parents, like, hey, come see like my kid play. And then there's like food vendors, and pretty much if you have anything homemade, they're going to look at it. And I was one of the few comic people who were even there. So I kind of cornered that market. So they're like, oh, yeah, let me pick all this stuff up from this guy. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm in there. I was like, yeah, I'm just in North Hollywood. So, it's not that bad of a drive.
Yeah.
The best show I ever did was back in my hometown of Hawaii. It was Amazing Comic-Con Aloha back in, oddly enough, February 2020, before everything changed.
Wow, the last one.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's the first show that I sold out of everything. Like I took, because I had done 2 traveling shows before, one in DC and then one in Denver, and I took maybe half of my inventory just for baggage fees and all that, and I maybe sold half of it. This time I took the same amount, and by Sunday By Sunday afternoon, I was out of everything.
Wow.
And it was amazing. Like, and there were only 2 people like from high school that came by, and the rest were like tourists. Some were residents, so it was like a nice mix.
Yes.
But yeah, that was just amazing because it was, you know, it was a good homecoming / vacation / business trip.
Yeah, I guess that's the beauty is even if the con weren't the greatest, you're still getting to go back home. So it's a homecoming, but when you go to a homecoming and you sell out of everything, I mean that's the ultimate win-win right there. And you got to do the last con before the world shut down. So I mean, then it was quite a wait. So is that one still going? Do they still do that one annually?
So they've been having some issues with it because the people who run it, they also run the show in Vegas.
Okay.
So I know they did it maybe 2 years ago, but they've been trying to, I guess, balance out between which one they can focus on. So now they're focusing on the Vegas one, which I know got moved to, I guess, near Fremont Street because it used to be at the convention center. So that one got moved, and then there's like no news on the show, which I would like to do if I'm able to come back. Because I have more books because I finished a book when I did that, but now I'm going to finish another to Damn Tourist. I got like my Cosmic War series. I got to finish up the finale, which is another trade. So if that starts next year, the year after, that'll be perfect because I would have like, you know, tons more books to sell.
Yeah. And that, I mean, when you do a show like that and you get people that bought the first time, you got to have something new on the table. And the fact that you would means that all those people will be like, all right, I read all these ones, get me the next ones. And that's the thing with me. If I don't have new material, because you get the same faces that come to a lot of the SoCal shows, and they're going to look like, oh, I looked at your table, I own everything, and they move on. They come and say hi, but you got to keep bringing new things to the table to get them. And if you bring a lot of new things to the table, especially to Hawaii, it should be great. And hopefully you could do it again and sell out everything again, which is always a good feeling when you're walking away with an empty box. So yeah, those ones sound good. So any other ones you want to talk about? So I guess if you think
those are like the best ones.
Okay, cool. So I'll talk about mine. I had a couple, like you were talking about San Diego. I did the San Diego Special Edition, which was the first con back in California after the shutdown, and they moved it to Thanksgiving weekend. So they brought San Diego Comic-Con back on Thanksgiving weekend. No celebrities, no panels, just a straight old school con, but in the San Diego Convention Center. And the reception was crazy. I mean, it wasn't sold out like regular San Diego, and the streets weren't filled with, you know, all of these pop-ups. It was just an old school, good con vibe where people were coming in and they were hungry for new books. So that one, by the end of Friday night, I had almost sold out of every issue one that I brought. And I brought about, I think, 75 copies of issue 1. I think I had 4 issues out by that point in time and sold them out and had to drive back and get more books. And you think this is the best thing when luckily I could drive home and get them. You weren't stranded like, okay, great, I'm all out of number 1 and no one's going to come and buy 2 through 4. But I drove home, got more, and just sold more individual books than I've ever sold at that one. And, you know, made the table and then some more, all on just, you know, on floppies, which is hard because that you want to get a trade or something like that because that moves your numbers a lot faster. So that one was a great one. And then just recently last year I did the OC Book Fair. It was outdoors in the pouring rain, and I thought this is going to be nightmarish. I mean, it wasn't just drizzly California style. I mean, this was a fucking tsunami. Shit was blowing. The vendors were all setting up. I set my table copies out and they just started to warp. So I just told them, I said, look, I need to be able to pull my car back behind here and store my books in the car. And they were like, whatever, dude, as long as you can fit your tent in the car. So I had my books in the car, and everybody who bought a book, I'd have to run to the car, grab it. I'd sign it in the car where I wasn't all wet. And even though we had easy up with tarp when water was blowing in. So my table copies paid the price that day, but I sold more books than I've ever sold with trades, because at that particular show, no one wanted floppies. They weren't looking for comic books. They're like, we're book readers. I was like, okay, great. I got Cthulhu Invades Fairy Tales. I have that in soft and hardcover. I have Immortal Era. I have that in soft and hardcover. And more people than not wanted the hardcover stuff. So I ended up selling out of all the Cthulhu hardcovers that I had. And with the Immortal Era ones, I sold out of every one that was in the box, because I usually only bring about 5 with me, because I'm lucky if I sell one of those at a show. And at that particular book fair, I sold out all of those, all 5 of the Cthulhu hardcovers, and then the soft covers were just blasting through. And I thought, first off, it's pouring rain. Who's going to come out? What kind of people are going to come out to buy books in the rain? And the answer was a lot. They just slapped on their ponchos and, you know, had their bags that they could throw books in and not have them get damaged. And they were just out buying from the moment that they let them in to the moment they finally shut it down. It was just thriving. And I'm thinking, what would this have looked like in good weather? I mean, I gotta hope that next year when they do it in November, it's in good weather, and I imagine it being just even better. So that's my hope. But that was the most, I guess, maybe not best, but most surprising. That's where you think, I'm looking at how far is a movie theater from here, because I don't even want to sell when no one's here. I don't want to stand out here for 10 hours in the rain, because my dumbass didn't even bring a jacket. So it was bad. I brought a hoodie and the thing was drenched. So I'm like, this hoodie's useless. It's just like, you know, making me wetter and colder. So I didn't bring a proper kind of waterproof jacket. So I thought it was going to be miserable, but yeah, I did have to sit there and blow on my hands all day and rub my hands. But in the end, a lot of people bought books, and hopefully by next year, well, I'll definitely have a volume 2 of Immortal Era and the volume 2 of Cthulhu and Fairy Tales. So it's like, okay, good. New for them, because they don't want my new floppies. Like, oh, well, you can get 7 through 11. No, we don't want that. We just want, well, tell us when your next book's available. So those are 2 kind of big surprising ones that I've done, because again, the special edition wasn't regular San Diego Comic-Con, but it was just incredible. And I've talked to a lot of the exhibitors who are at that one, and they do it every year. They do San Diego every year. I see them anytime I go, and they still say that was the best year they've ever done, because it was pure comic people, and I mean toy people. They're going to be there as well, but it wasn't about the Marvel panel, or, you know, this TV show or that. It was about, I want new books. I've been stuck in my house. I'm going to buy all the stuff. And, you know, that's when stimulus checks were still flying through the air. So people had money to burn, and they burned it on books. And it was beautiful, because this was one of the rare times where you saw people double fisting bags of comics from small press. And you don't normally see that. They'll be double fisting Hasbro bags or, you know, Lego bags, but they're not just hands upon hands of comic books. So that was an amazing experience, and I really want to get in for regular, but we'll see. I'm waitlisted, so maybe I'll get that lucky last minute spot, and I'll be extra pissed off if I walk over and see a bunch of empty tables in small press like I do every year that become people's lunch tables. It's like, hey, I was here. So I'll go and talk to them if that happens. But now we're gonna flip
I mean, there are people did show up and took over an empty table, and then they found out that, oh, you're something without payment on the table, they will like write you down.
Yeah, I mean, and I've talked to them in the years past. I said, hey, there's 3 empty tables in small press. I would be happy to pay right now and go home and get some books and do it. And they're like, well, no, you still have to apply and get, you know, this approval and that. I'm thinking, wow, you'd rather just let the table be empty than just let someone go. And I said, I've done WonderCon the last 5 years, so you can see, you know who I am. And they still wouldn't do it. So now that I'm on the wait list, maybe it's different. Maybe they can just bump me up from wait list to in, but we'll see, because there's still a lot of time between now and the actual con. So anything can happen, and wait list could turn to approved, because I know that happened to one of the small press people. No, not small press. The Artist Alley people I know, but he got it 2 days before the show and didn't have a hotel, so he couldn't do it. So
Wow.
one of those things where, yeah, you botched that one, San Diego, because you do have to think hotels aren't exactly easy to come by when you're 2 days away from San Diego Comic-Con.
No.
So you'd have to be local San Diego to pull that off. All right, so now we've talked about our favorite ones. What's a con experience that was not as good? So, Connie, Dallas, what's a con experience that left you unhappy in the end?
That would probably be like VidCon over at the Anaheim Convention Center, the same convention center that WonderCon is at.
I mean, I made a post about it like a week ago because
Yeah.
it's like, long story short, Freeman is a scam. They try to charge us $1,200 for using their service that's optional to use. And I'm like, that left a bad taste in my mouth.
Well, so like it started off, we go into the back where you go and load in, and then they charge you your standard 25 to like get in than anything else. But then this time they said, oh, before you load in, you need to go to this trailer over here. And I was like, okay, that's a little weird. And so they forced us to go to trailer, and it turned out it was the Freeman business.
Yeah.
And they told us, they're like, hey, they're not going to let you hand carry it in, or else the convention center is going to reject you right at the door. So, and I was like, all right, well, how much is your services? And they're like, well, we don't know. We'll let you know at the end of the convention. And I was like, okay. So I just gave my basic, information, whatever. I gave him like my email and my number, and that's really about it. And and so they just kept like doing that. And around Saturday, they instantly billed us at the end of Saturday.
No. The first day we load in.
Yeah, the
they
first
billed
day.
us right away.
Right away.
The evening of it.
Yeah, the evening of that than anything else for like $1,200. And
$1,200 to load you in?
Yeah.
They didn't do much.
No, they didn't even
do much. We had to load everything onto the pallet and unload stuff out of the pallet of ourselves.
Yikes.
Yeah. So they didn't do at all is the case. And so charged $1,200 at the end of the first day. And it's like, okay, guys, this is getting ridiculous here.
Yeah.
Like, because you didn't help me set up at all. So your services were necessary. I could have just did this all by myself, and this would have been
for $1,200 they should buy you dinner every night.
Yeah, right.
Drive you to and from your house. I mean, shit. You
Yeah.
could hire an Uber and a mover for better than that.
Yeah, and so this guy named Rich, who's the guy who's running the convention, he's part of the whole Fan Expo thing. He runs like MegaCon over in Orlando, and so Fan Expo shows been going on for like over a decade, like now. So this shouldn't be his first time running the con, but there was a lot of miscommunication going on with him than anything else, and so he's it seems like they got rid of it. He's like, fine, I'll take care of it, blah blah blah. And so I ended up getting another email that's had a negative $1,200. I was like, okay, good, I don't owe the money anymore. Great. And then it comes back, he's like, well, hey guys, turns out maybe you're gonna have to like pay like I don't know, some money to him, like around like $300. And I was like, I'm still not gonna pay for that. And so I've been harassed by like Freeman since like VidCon of 2025 and the rest of 2025 asking for money. And then they had like a middleman that was trying to do another like $300 plus $39 on top. And I remember getting an email telling him, it was like, listen, it's imperative you to call me at this number right away. And I was like, I'm not going to call him.
No, I'll pass on that one.
Yeah. And so Connie made like a call out post online on Instagram and everything else. And then I get another email from Freeman saying, oh, never mind. It's at negative 300. And I was like, okay, good. I don't owe you money anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, that your post is what brought these topics up, because I was thinking, okay, you guys you wrote the post, so kind of let you know. And I guess did other people bring their stuff in themselves, or did everyone get forced to do it that way?
There was other people who went through that too and stuff like that, but there were some people who are a little bit outside the box. So they're like, fuck it, whatever. And I was like, I always thought it was weird for them to like force me to use the service. I was like, this is the same spot they do at WonderCon. I've always brought in my stuff at WonderCon with like no problem.
And WonderCon will even do pallet service and not charge you for it.
Yeah.
Like if you get there at the right time, if you go, especially if you go the day before to set up, They'll have a
Mhm.
pallet there. You just load it onto the pallet. They'll bring it in there. It's waiting in front of your table, and it's
Yep.
courtesy. They don't charge you anything for it. So it's crazy that it's the same convention center and the same service you can get for free. Even LA, when I did it last year, they
Yeah.
palleted my stuff in there, and it's not something that's normally charged for. But yeah, I mean, I can imagine if that were me, I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna just keep stuffing books in my backpack till I get them all in, because
Yeah.
shoot, I mean, who has an extra $1,200? That may be what you could make in the whole con, and that's not even your table and your time. So it's
Yeah.
a dirty move, but at least they finally let you off because your post scared them away. So
Yeah.
at least there's that.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah. So Alan, any cons that you've had a worse experience at?
I think the worst was a book fair in El Sereno, because the way it actually, because this was back in, I think, 2023. So
Okay.
it started out as to say it was a book fair like in the street, so it was maybe a street fair type of deal. And I drive down there. I'm like, okay, I don't see any roads closed off or anything. Where is this place? A couple other people show up, like, yeah, we're kind of wondering too. And then someone contacts the person who set the whole event up on Instagram and said, yeah, where is the event? Is it somewhere else? Like, oh no, just come up from my backyard. It's like, wait, are you serious? You put it in your backyard?
Oh no!
Oh no.
So, like,
Dang, it's garage sale style.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
shit.
we're sitting there like, is anyone gonna show up? Because there's like no cars. It's just houses. There's like nothing around here.
Yeah.
So like, oh, don't worry. There's some people coming later. It's like, all right. So we get there. It's like 9:30, and we're there until probably like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to end at 3. And by that point, she's saying, hey, look, I know some people from this like fitness studio or something. Like, they're gonna, if you want to like, hang around till like the evening. I'm like, no, I'm getting out of here because I ain't waiting that
Yeah.
long.
Do I need more of my time wasted right now?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was like, no sales, because of course, no one was there except just the vendors, and whatever friends she had were just like chatting with her. I will say, as bad as that show was by not selling anything, because most bad shows, like, there's one silver lining. I did
you can
meet
find
a
something
guy.
good in there.
Yeah, one of the friends she had worked at North Figueroa Bookshop, and he saw some of my books and said, "Hey, would you like to do like some consignment opportunities?" Like, oh yeah, sure. So I emailed him later, and that later morphed into doing a book discussion with a bunch of other artists, like later, like in the summer. This is around June, so like I think like late July and August. Like I got like some book discussion there, and I got some sales there. So yeah, even that, like, at least it turned into something positive, but that event was not.
Yeah, a no sale, all day wasted. I mean, yeah, I think we've all had those really bad ones where I did one. It was Paris, California, not France, and he was doing a Paris art walk, freezing temperature on a Friday night, and it was nobody was there, and I sold a single sticker out of pity. I think someone was like, here's $1 for your sticker, because they felt bad for all the exhibitors. Nobody sold anything, and it was the same kind of thing. He didn't, I think in his mind it was going to be great, and then it ended up being just no attendees at all. And then there was a band playing, and the band's like, dude, there's no one here to listen to our music. And the guy's like, oh, I guess I should have put a little more advertising out there. I just thought people would come. And like, no one just gonna randomly show up to Paris on a Friday night. So yeah, that one was rough. And the one that I did in LA, it was the LA Horror Con. This one, the guy wasn't selling his tables because they were like $700, and the same price as CreepyCon was at the time, but not with the same level of celebrities and things like that. And in the end, he started getting desperate and selling tables to other exhibitors for like 100. So someone's coming in like, yeah, there wasn't great attendance, but I only paid $100. So we're finding out the people that paid 700 are finding out all these people that signed up at the last minute only paid 100.
Oh,
so
what?
people were pissed. And then he was being crazy, like walking around. If he caught you eating food that wasn't bought directly in the place, he was kicking you out. So I'm just like stealthily eating my sandwich under the table because he'd be like, no outside food, no outside food. And he's the guy who's running the place in his cheap oversized suit is just screaming at people left and right. He yelled at one of the celebrities and kicked them out. So it was just nightmares. And then he has this weird tiered system of VIPs, then secondary VIPs, and then regular public. So you sit there, the regular VIPs get in 2 hours early, but there's only like 50 of them. So they're just like, why did I pay for this? I've seen everything in 5 minutes, because it was one of those things where they spread everybody out really far to try to make it look like a filled convention center, but it wasn't. And then it was just desperation selling. And this dude, like, if you sign up for it, he'll call your house, or like he'll call your phone, like, hey man, I see you put interest in there, but you haven't paid your payment yet. I'm like, what the fuck are you calling me for, dude? Like, you do not call me. And then he's like, yeah man, you've done some other cons, but this is the con you should do. This is where you're going to make real money. And you did Phoenix, but why would you waste your time in Phoenix? Like, now you're stalking my socials too? To tell me the cons I'm doing aren't good? So it's a weird thing. You'll get a call. I remember I had signed up, I'd signed the interest form, and the guy called me at 11 o'clock at night. And just like, yeah, man, now this is the con you need to do. And I saw you're set up at WonderCon, and I vet my people, so I can say that I approve of your setup, but you're wasting your time and money doing this con or that con or this con, and trying to tell me what I shouldn't be doing, that all I should be doing is his con. And like, I've never had an exhibitor call me, especially at that hour of the night. Fortunately, I'm a night owl. I was actually driving home from a concert, so I think I filled it out between bands. Like, oh, I'll just fill this out real quick and see what happens. And the next thing you know, I'm getting a call as I'm driving home. So, yeah. And then he'll call me at work. Like, hey, we see you haven't sent in your payment yet. Like, I haven't decided if I'm doing it. Well, we need that payment, okay? We need that payment now. So, a weird experience. So, yeah, then I saw him. He'll go around and try to, like, if you see him at LA Comic Con, he'll be going down the aisle and handing people the card, like, this is the great show. This is the great show. And then I'll just walk over to him. I'm like, let me tell you my story. And there was someone who did an Instagram story, kind of like what you did, Connie, but they made it, they made like a little Instagram comic that told of the whole situation. And I'm like, here, I'm going to forward this to you and decide if you want to do it. So yeah, he looked, he saw me, he kind of ducked his head and shot the other direction. I'm like, hey, come on over, let's talk. And he's like, sorry, busy, in this shot away. So
what was the name of the
way out
show?
of, what's that?
What was the name of the show?
The LA Horror Con.
LA Horror Con.
Yeah, people are saying that he's a used car salesman. That's what
he really is. He's got that vibe going. But the fact that he was selling tables for $100, the $700 tables, when all the people that had paid it got nothing, where he should have said, like, hey, we're really sorry, I was desperate to get it filled, so next year you guys get a table for $100. I mean, that would be, he could have easily made it right. And that's the thing. He could have said, yeah, you might be hearing that I was giving these tables cheaper. That's true, because I just wanted to get the hall filled, but next year I'm writing it down and you guys are either comped or you guys get $100 table. And if he had done that, you know what, that's a way to make things right. But his way was, I'm going to pretend that that's not true, because he says, well, who told you that? That's not necessarily true. It's like, all right, used car salesman to the bitter end. And every year I see the post that it's happening again. I see the billboards, and then the celebrity list that he gets is very small, where you look at CreepyCon and they got Robert Englund, they got Bruce Campbell. I mean, they got A-list horror guys from the 80s, and his was like, here's a dude who got killed in Terrifier and, you know, had 47 seconds of screen time. So that's the kind of celebrities he's pulling in. And the thing is, I did it twice, and the first year, it was their first year doing it, and it was actually a good experience. I mean, it wasn't gigantic, but the vibes were good, and that's what brought me back the second year. And the second year, it was a completely shifted feel, where it was not a positive vibe at all, and just him kind of worming his way around and trying to hide from the exhibitors who paid $700 was something else. Hey, Grant. Good morning. Or a good afternoon, depending on where you're at in the world. Because I always say morning, but I guess for us, it's all morning. We're in the proper morning time. So okay, we've talked about the good and the bad, but honestly, even in that con, no, I wasn't happy with him and the way he ran things. But I had a successful show. I sold books. I met some people that became backers on my Kickstarters or became regulars at my table. They're like, hey, remember I got this one at CreepyCon. What do I need? Or not CreepyCon, but LA HorrorCon. What do I need to fill in? What am I missing? And that's always great when you get someone who comes to the table, because I'm terrible with names and faces. And they'll come to my table like, hey, don't you remember me? I was at such and such a con. I'm like, no, I'm going to be honest, because, I see a lot of faces and it's hard to recognize them. Now, after a certain amount of times, I have ones that have come to the table 4, 5, 6 times, and now I do know their name. I do know their face, and I don't, start pitching them, even though they've heard the pitch already.
Yeah.
But I'll get the ones like, oh, go. I'm going to go ahead and stop you. I have this many. What do I need to get to fill in and get me caught up? So that's always great. Kind of like what you were talking about, Alan, for Hawaii. Going there to the Hawaii one and going back for your second time and having all the people just come and fill their holes in is great, because the pitch part's done. They're already sold on your pitch. They just want to buy your book. And the less I have to pitch, the better. So yeah, because Connie and Dallas, you've been my neighbors, I don't have an off switch, because I'm just constantly working and working to get people. But you have to. I mean, I'm not selling art prints. I'm selling a story, and people can see the art, and they're not going to stop to see the art, because it's not a recognizable character. There's no Spider-Mans, there's no Batmans, there's no anime characters to sell them on. Okay, I like this, your portrayal of this character, I'm going to buy it. So it's, I have to sell them on story, but what you hope is that you sell them on the story and you get them hooked, because for Immortal Era, at least, it's 24 issues that are going to be coming out. So I need people for the long haul on it.
I mean, you're a mad hustler, that's for sure.
Yes. I don't stop. Like I said, I've been training my life for this. Having to talk loud all day in class and like run 48-mile races. Like, okay, I'm already used to sore feet. That doesn't faze me. So it's like, let's go, put me in a con situation, and I'll just, I'll be the bouncy guy even when the energy in the room is low. And normally my neighbors are happy with me. I've only had one neighbor think I was a very annoying person, but that's okay. I need to sell shit.
Are you talking about that specific individual that pretty much was like really bitter, and all of his art is pretty much traced and everything?
Yeah, yep, there you go.
We know
he's just the grumpy dude who does. I don't even know if he. I think what he didn't like is that I was very trying to stay very high energy at a show that was very low attendance. And he just kept complaining that this show sucks. Why are you even trying that hard? You should just, be sitting. I'm like, what? If I sit down, I'm going to sell even less than I'm selling now. And I'm not going, I'll sell zero if I sit down, because he has a known IP that he does his art of, and people are going to see it, like it, buy it. That I don't have that luxury. And it ended up, I worked very hard. And then what they did was, at that show, they gave free Groupon tickets for Sunday. So my Sunday ended up being incredible. Saturday, which should be your better day, you would think, ended up being pretty mediocre, make a little bit, but not even close to getting table back. And then Sunday, they saw attendance wasn't great, so they blasted out a bunch of free Groupons for free entry into the show. And next thing you know, Sunday was crowded. It was amazing, and he had already packed up by that day. He didn't come back after Saturday. Something, and you gave up. You might have actually had a successful show, but you decided no on it. So there's that one, and then there was the one at another show where she's like, do you have to stop everybody? It reeks of desperation. I'm like, well, I traveled to Tampa from my California, so I'm a bit desperate to not eat a lot of money. You're already on a loss for that one, but we also tacked on a Disney World vacation to it. So, all right off the plane tickets and all that good stuff. But yeah, in the end, most of my neighbors end up liking me. hopefully, but I got to sell books. That's the job. So, and it usually brings good energy to the row. Like other people will start looking like, okay, he's stealing all the people that are walking by, so I better stand up and try myself. Because one of my friends will always come and just kind of hang out at the table, and he's like, yeah, I watch the rest of the rows kind of pepping up because they realize that you're gonna just grab every walker by with your used car salesman vibe. Because yes, I will flip on the used car salesman switch too. I
Yep.
know if I have to, I have to. So, so that's, I guess, prepping for tomorrow. Drink the water, bring some cough drops, and be ready to use car salesman my way at Pasadena.
Earlier you said you're at ParisCon because I was thinking, man, I'm glad I ditched that one because I was at Cartoonapalooza at the time, and that was a really good show for that one.
Yeah, the ParisCon, it was one person who ran it, and the first year was really good. It was in a good location. I think it was at their city hall. And I mean, yeah, it was at a basketball court, but who cares if you bring people in? And it was very easy to get to. The next year they put it in a high school, and it was the high school gym, so you had to kind of wander the high school to find it. And then he was charging admission price or exhibitor prices that were the same as WonderCon and shows like that. And a high school gym is not WonderCon.
No.
And the attendance was really bad, where it ended up turning out I was the only one in the row. So he's like, do you have extra tables? Can you just really spread out and make it look like you have more? And at that point, I wasn't going to do it again, but someone else took it over. And there's a whole bunch of drama on Instagram. He was sending messages out like, if you do this con, then we're done. And I'm not going to let you do my shows anymore. Like, oh, wow, that's going to crush my soul. But in the end, it got taken back to its original location at the city hall, and it was really good. So I did it last year back in its original spot, and I did really well, and it was appropriately priced for a show in Paris in a basketball gym. So, I mean, you don't charge the same admission as WonderCon when you're in a gym. So, you know, that they realized that, and they had to price it to the point of, okay, we're pricing it as, you know, as it is just sitting here at City Hall in a gym. So yeah, it was good. Again, it wasn't the exhibitors weren't full because I think a lot of people didn't know if it was the same one that tanked the first time or the second time. So yeah, that one you were good to avoid. That particular year you missed nothing, and if you had a good con, then you won. All right, so our next topic, we're switching out of cons completely, and this comes because this week they just dropped the trailer for the new Masters of the Universe movie. And this is the second time that we've seen Masters of the Universe on live action on the big screen. Now, if you remember the first time, I know people have nostalgia for that movie, but it is not my favorite movie. But I think I was too old when it came out, and there's people who love it, so I'm not going to begrudge them. If you love it, that's good for you, because for me, it's not my favorite. But now the trailer dropped. So have you seen the trailer for it yet?
I haven't seen the new trailer for Masters of the Universe, but I've seen some screenshots.
Yes.
Of it than anything else that are showing like behind the scenes, and I was
Skeletor
like,
and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like the character designs. I think they're pretty solid. So, Alan, have you seen the trailer for it?
Yeah, I just watched it yesterday.
Mm-hmm. I think I did too. So, yeah, the trailer looks promising. I'll give it that. The character designs look good, and my only worry is that it's, you know, partially set on Earth, and when you bring the mythical universe into Earth, that's kind of what I didn't like about the first one when all the Earth segments. But, you know, it looks promising. But now we have to think, what is a Saturday morning cartoon, or just kind of any cartoon franchise that you would like to see brought into live action, or try it again? Because you figure, all right, this is a second attempt at He-Man starring Jared Leto, which is always, that always worries me because he's a bit wacky. And is he like, he's playing Skeletor. So I'm like, is he doing evil deeds and, you know, hurting people like he did as the Joker? I would not want to act with that guy. But no one's calling me to act anyway, so we're fine.
Yeah.
But what is something that you guys would like to see brought into live action? A cartoon animation that you think deserves a live action treatment or a second chance?
Well, let's hear Dallas' opinion.
All right, what do you think, Dallas?
Well, so for live, I think the Centaurians would be pretty cool for that show, and I think that's like another Hanna-Barbera type thing, or at least do a good GI Joe.
Oh my gosh, I'm with that. Let's try it again and do it right.
Yeah.
Because what is it? How many has there been? 3 GI Joe movies? I don't even know.
I think so.
Because I know they did a Snake Eyes one.
Watching one of them.
Yeah, let's see.
Because people will be like, I can't wait to see Snake Eyes.
Yeah. So let's see. There are 4 GI Joe. G.I. Joe Retaliation, G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. Oh no, 3, then Snake Eyes. So yeah, and I guess there is a new one coming out. There's a teaser that came out in 2024. So there will be more. We're not done with it yet. Maybe they'll get it right, but yeah, the Snake Eyes was the last one, and I don't know. I just did a quick Google search, so it could be wrong. So anyone who's watching, if you know of one coming out, let me know. But yeah, I'm with you. Let's see a proper good G.I. Joe movie. I mean, it can't be that hard. And yet we've got, I watched the first 2. I haven't watched Snake Eyes, and I don't know. After the first 2, I didn't want to watch any more in that particular universe. But yeah, let's see a good one.
I'd rather prefer if it was like directed by James Gunn, because he's been doing really good with the DC films lately. Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, if you have James Gunn directed, I'll be like, okay, let's go. So let's see, G.I. Joe and James Gunn's, version.
Yeah. So let's see. The Rotten Tomatoes of the Snake Eyes movie is 35%. So I guess that says it all. And let's see. With it, it's... Oh, but the fans like it. It's 35% critics, 74% fans. So who knows?
Yeah.
But the thing is, that's the market. If you get like 35 and 35, you messed up. Because even that new Five Nights at Freddy's movie, I mean, that thing was hated by the critics, but the fans kind of liked it. Although both my kids said it was terrible, so I don't know.
For the He-Man?
No, the Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, I've been hearing it was like kind of like 50-50.
So yeah, I'm with you. Let's see a good and proper G.I. Joe one. So Alan, what's a Saturday morning cartoon or any animated series that you'd love to see done live action?
I would like to see a Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends movie.
Ooh, yes.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean,
that could be great.
You have I know it would depend which Spider-Man you want. I would probably go towards Tobey Maguire only because that was the Spider-Man where the first X-Men film came out. So you already have Spider-Man and Iceman. You have Sean Ashmore. I have no idea who would play Firestar. That's the only thing.
They can find someone good, I'm sure. And that could be a lot of fun. You could write it, especially with the lead actors from those 2 movies being older now. You could bring an older Firestar and kind of write it as if they're an established team. We don't need to see their origins of how they got together, but they've been doing it for all these years and somehow bring them into the real MCU. So yeah, I would love to see that as well. I think that could end up being a lot of fun. So any other animations you want to see brought to the big screen the right way?
I didn't say it, but I want Jackie Chan's Adventures.
Yes.
Even though Jackie Chan has a lot of movies being made, but there was a Saturday morning cartoon back in the 2000s, and I was like, it was actually a pretty enjoyable celebrity TV show.
Yeah, which is rare because a lot of times I think about they had the WWF one that was, the wrestling animated cartoon in the 80s. They had a Mr. T one. I'm trying to think. A lot of the celebrity ones are not amazing. They had they have a lot of them and they're not great, but they're those cash grab shows. They had, was there a Backstreet Boys one or Menudo or something like that?
Or Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Hero.
Yes.
What's going on here?
I
So many
remember
that
those.
there was a Kid and Play cartoon. Remember that?
That's right. Yeah. So that's when they're just like, here, it's a celebrity. People like the music. They'll want to see a cartoon about them as well. Because I know back in the day, Jackson 5 had an animated cartoon.
Yep.
The Beatles had cartoons. So
Happy
there's
Days
a
with
lot-
Furniture Lane.
yes, yeah. I mean, they'll do it over and over again. But yeah, I think seeing it done right might be fun. Because yeah, like I said, Jackie Chan has movies, but to do it from the animated universe instead, I would like to see that. So I'm with Dallas. My thought was I'd love to see a good G.I. Joe, and I would love to see the Michael Bay Transformers universe completely discarded and start fresh.
Yeah.
And I think there's been 1.5 good Transformers movies in all the time. I liked the Bumblebee movie. That was a
Bumblebee
surprisingly
was fun.
good movie after a string of garbage. And I thought the first Transformers was a kind of okay movie. It had the right heart, but then when it got to the big action sequence at the end, it was impossible to see what was actually happening.
Yeah.
I was just completely lost on any of what was actually occurring in the action because it was just clunky, jumpy, and really bad. So I'd love to see it done with more heart, because the sequels got worse and worse. And I was optimistic after the Bumblebee one when they were doing a sequel. I'm like, okay, maybe they've got the formula right. They kind of brought it back to a boy in his car, a girl in his car, and then the adventures that ensue. And then they brought it right back to its trash bin and wrecked it again for the sequel after Bumblebee. So yeah, start it over, reboot it from the start, do it, maybe proper sequel to Bumblebee where we get that, the G1 look. I guess that's just more what I'm nostalgic for, but I'd love to see that done right. And will we? Who knows? It's hard to say, but yeah, I think about like all the Saturday morning cartoons. So many of them have been adapted. I mean, we've had Smurfs movies and all that kind of stuff, and Chipmunks movies. So all those things that I watched as a kid, we've had live action movies to not so great effect. So it might be time to just restart a lot of them, like G.I. Joe, Transformers, and they're restarting with He-Man. So we'll see what happens. So,
I mean, you didn't mention He-Man. You said that they're going to planet Earth, and it's like you might as well just call it He-Man Lost in New York. You're gonna pull that shit.
But it looks like, from what I gathered in the trailer, Prince Adam got moved to Earth to protect him, and now they have to come back to Earth to get him. But it looks like they have some Earth battles, and that's where it becomes, He-Man Lost in New York, and I'm not here for that. Like, get him to Eternia. I want to see those Eternia set pieces with good special effects, because the first one had 80 special effects, so it's not going to look as good. And the little tiny glimpse we got of Castle Grayskull looked good. I was happy. I don't know, Alan, did they show Snake Mountain in the trailer? I don't remember.
I don't remember seeing it.
If anything, it's probably one of those ones. Watch one of the big trailer reviews that are out there that freeze frame every single second, and maybe we get a tiny glimpse of it. And then I'm hoping for Trapjaw. All the He-Man characters are ridiculous. They're stupid in their inception, but I love Trapjaw. That's my guy. I buy every Trapjaw action figure I see, and I realize he's ridiculous, but I love it. So it's like, all right, I want to see Trapjaw in there. I know we saw Beastman, we saw Spike-Ore, we saw Fisto. So I mean, they're fucking ridiculous. It's absurd how bad the He-Man characters are, but I love them because that's my 80s nostalgia wheelhouse right there.
I think another show that should be live should be Mighty Max. I think that would be fucking sick.
I would love to see that. Yeah, there's a lot of good Saturday morning cartoons, but if they're the lesser known ones don't seem to get touched. And it's like, we got Mighty Max. Do we need another Smurfs movie? Are there that many people nostalgic for the Smurfs?
I mean, this is the fourth reboot they're going through?
Yeah. I mean, is there that much love for the Smurfs in this world? I don't know. I mean, I might be wrong, but I don't think that they've been, breaking box office records. And then really, when you get those things, I think about it, and it's all just trying to sell our love and our IP to our children. So it's kind of like, here, kids, let me shove this thing that I love down your throat, because it's not theirs. And we've seen the stuff that's theirs is performing well. The Minecraft movie, I mean, look at that thing.
Yeah.
I would never see that movie. It looks god awful to me, but my daughters both loved it. They went to the theaters. They were yelling in the theaters and doing all the things because that's theirs. This isn't adults trying to be like, love the things I love because they're the best. It's here, love the thing you love. We may think it's garbage, but who cares? It's your love. And even Five Nights at Freddy's, as bad as the critics panned it, it made a lot of money.
Oh, it definitely did.
It's their market. It belongs to this generation. It's not here's our superheroes, love them. Here's our Saturday morning cartoons, love this. It's no, here's your stuff, love it. The adults are gonna hate it, but that's what it's supposed to be. With the music I listen to, my dad would be like, oh, that's crap. It's okay. We're not supposed to love what our kids love, and it's nice that they're giving them their own IP in the world, because most of the time we're shoving our IP, and it's like, I guess we didn't love the Smurfs enough to shove it down our kids' throat. Although who knows? They've tried it 4 damn times now, so what do we really know? And it's also lazy Hollywood. So here's like, here, we got IP sitting in this room right now. We got plenty of IP. Adapt it. Let's let people see something new. But that's always my soapbox that I stand on. I was like, come on, Hollywood, let's give us something new. But the problem is, something new, original, and great comes out and it tanks, and then it scares Hollywood off for another 5 years to make something new and original. So it's that slippery slope where the known IP may not make as much, but they don't have to pay them as much to get it done. So they'll take the chance at making, Moana live action or Snow White live action instead of, damn tourist live action. Because they're like, we could get a good damn tourist comedy, and I'm here for this. That's what we want because it's new, it's original, it'd be fresh and fun. But studios aren't looking for that. So I guess that's where we live, is the rehash reboot time. So we've given some Saturday morning cartoons that haven't been adapted. So let's see those ones. Give them a chance. And it's still us shoving our IPs down our kids' throat, but it's not the same ones. Like, not try the Smurfs again this time, less live action. Try the Smurfs again this time with Hank Azaria. It's like, let's just not try the Smurfs again. Oh, what was it?
No more Smurfs.
Who was the singer? I think Rihanna was singing in this one.
The new one, it felt off. I saw the new one on the plane, and it's like, okay, you didn't put much emphasis on Smurfette, and she's just like, I read the line, done.
So she, I mean, and that's the thing that gets
like, she doesn't have any character on Smurfette. It's like, I have to do it what's correct, so I'm gonna say lines.
Yeah, that's not the way. But I mean, you get the big name celebrity. They're not necessarily actors, but it's name recognition, and of course she'll sing a song for the soundtrack, which could end up making more money than the movie itself. If you have if you get one of those big kind of like that Can't Stop the Feeling troll song, that song is bigger than the movies, and that's what people that song even if you've never seen the movie. So that's what they want, is this juggernaut song hit, because that can make them more or as much money as the movie, because you get 1 billion views on YouTube and you're fine. You're like, all right, your movie tanked, but you have a song that's made millions and millions of dollars. So who knows? And I don't know, they've made a lot of Trolls movies too. That's with, I think it's Justin Timberlake, or they always got the celebrity. But let's move on now to our last thing, and that's just promotion. I know none of us have Kickstarter, so that kind of makes it easy. So instead, where can we find you? Where are you going to be in the upcoming months out there at con? So where are you going to be, Dallas and Connie?
So this coming up weekend, we're going to be at Little Tokyo Zine Fest with our little mascot here, Hyde the Hermit Crab, than anything else. But our bigger show, we're going to be at San Jose Genesis X3 over at the McHenry Convention Center. So we're going to be
And
over
after
there.
that, we're gonna be at Emerald City Comic
And
Con.
Emerald City Comic Con
Nice.
in Seattle. So that's going to be hilariously fun for that.
Yes, that your crab should be. You should be moving lots of your plush. Do you have a lot of plush to sell, or is he just kind of your?
I do have a lot of
your
plush.
guy?
Yeah, we're helping with our collaborators with their stuff. Little
Yeah.
Shark guys, just somewhere up there. But I do have these little guys.
There we go. We got the. Well, I'll maximize your screen so you can show us what you got. So you got your.
Yeah, these little guys right here that we'll be selling too. Little proteins than anything else.
Very cool. I like those.
Yeah, we have the sharks and the foxes, the red pandas.
Yeah, I need to get some more Cthulhu plushes because I have one who's just on my table to sell the book, and everybody wants to buy him. So I need to get Cthulhu plushes made so people can buy Cthulhu plushes because I have a little Cthulhu section now that I'm part of the anthology. Because the beauty of a Cthulhu book is people already know it. You don't need to pitch it. Like it's Cthulhu mixed with Grim Fairy Tales. That's your pitch, and it pre-sells itself. It's one of those things like I was talking about earlier. If you have art prints, they sell themselves. Well, the Cthulhu book also sells itself, and that's the beauty of being. And when it's all said and done, I'm in 3 volumes of it. So being in those 3 volumes means that I'll have 3 books that I can sell, and I've already had to do. Like I bought because I have to buy them from the publisher, and I've already had to rebuy a bunch of them because my first batch that I bought completely sold out. So it's a good thing. And your little plushies, you can get people, they might want the book, but you know what? They will want the plushie. They need your little crab.
Oh yeah.
Especially in Emerald City, he's built for that one.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Alan, where can we find you in the next few months?
So, of course, starting tomorrow, I will be at Pasadena Comic Con. That's my first show of the year. I have a new issue of my Figure Speech Mongoose series. Also, some art from my upcoming Damn Tourist series, issue 7, which hopefully should be done in the next, month and a half. For other shows, it's just in the application process. So, I just did an interest form for Anaheim Central Library. That's now in May. It's May 16th.
Oh, they moved it. Okay.
Yeah,
I need to fill that
it's
out.
usually in mid-April.
Yes, it's normally pretty close to WonderCon. Right after.
Yeah, it's usually after WonderCon. Yeah, this one's a little later, but it's a good show. I believe it's still, they didn't say, but it's usually been free both for vendors and attendees.
Yeah, that's it. That's a beautiful thing about that one, is it's free. No, you just go in, set up, and the people walk in for free, and you're selling books in a library. I mean, it's optimal. So I've always had great success at that one. So I gotta fill out my interest form. I didn't know it was out there yet, so fill it out so I can hopefully be there with you as well. And for any other ones coming up? I know you said it's all applications, so any other little things like art walks or anything in the future?
The only other one is just, I have my pro badge for WonderCon.
Nice. Okay.
So I'll be attending that, going to some panels. Any other events? I think they're coming a little bit later, spring, summer. So probably by March or April, those shows up application. So it's whatever's upcoming in the next few months. But Pasadena's first.
Yes. And that's tomorrow. I'll be there as well. And then the only other one that I have officially on the books, because like Alan, a lot of them are in the application process, and that is Rocket Con down in San Diego. That one is in March, so I'll be there in the small press / artist alley section. But unlike years past, it's in a bigger venue where everybody's in the same room. There's no kind of side room thing, because the year that we did it, that Connie and Dallas were next to me, we were in the side room, but it did get good traffic. I mean, I'll give them that. They had the security guards kind of driving people as they were leaving, like, oh, don't forget to go into the artist alley's room. And it wasn't just dead. Like sometimes you get those side rooms and they're just dismal, where that one, it was still successful. And the one who runs it is really good. And I always do their shows. And last year was the first year back because they used to do it at the Masonic Lodge and they lost the rights to do it there. So now it's at the Del Mar Fairgrounds, which is a better place for a con overall. And they have a big enough room to have everybody in one place. So it's more just like a kind of good mid-sized show. So that one's in March, and everything else in application. As I said before, I'm waitlisted for San Diego Comic-Con. We'll see what happens. And I have applications for Rose City. I have applications for, I'll have one for Anacon. I'm going to definitely do the interest form for that one. And then just see what happens, because things just kind of, they just pop up randomly, and that's great. And I'm going to talk to some comic shops about trying to get a signing done for Floaters, because that book is out. So tomorrow will be the first time it's on the table, because I got the books about 2 weeks ago. So now it'll be my first time having that new book, new series on the table. So hoping for good things, hoping that tomorrow we get a good turnout, because I think the weather's supposed to be good, because what you don't want is pouring rain. Nothing scares people off, except at the OC Book Fair. Normally pouring rain scares people off, but yeah, it looks like we'll have decent forecast.
Yeah, and hopefully it'll be fine, because it's so weird because, you know, this is inside. You can park like in the garage. I'm like, if it's raining, like, you know, you'll be inside. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you won't have to get any water on you. You'll be fine.
I did want to mention there is for Free Comic Book Day. They'll be coming up in May. There is a new comic shop that opened in November called Santa Monica Comics Company, and they want to start doing some events. One obviously is Free Comic Book Day, so probably probably spring, like they'll probably start talking about it. And so if there's any because the person I know, he's a part of like a comics organization that runs the store. So if you wanted to do a Free Comic Book Day there, and if they have something announced, like I'll let you know about it.
Yeah, that'd be great. Always looking for good places for Free Comic Book Day. I know I'll be at a comic shop on Free Comic Book Day. I kind of bounce. I've bounced between the Comic Cult that's in Victorville, I think, and then at TC Rockets, the actual comic shop. I've done signings there too. So yes, it'd be nice to kind of do a new shop. It's always fun because that gets you new eyes on your book. But both those shops kind of have regulars now, which is also good. So you can't lose either way. And I'll definitely be somewhere for Free Comic Book Day. But like I said, most of the shops haven't even fully announced what they're going to be doing yet. All right. Well, before we go, let people know where we can find you on social media. So Dallas, Connie, where can we find you on the socials?
You can find us over at Hyde Herman Studio on Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, probably Twitch, Kick, and YouTube.
Nice. All right, and where can we find you, Alan?
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky. Search for Carter Comics.
Awesome. And you can find me, Finish Line Comics, on all the socials. It's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter or X, TikTok, YouTube. Just look up Finish Line Comics and you'll find me there. And you can find me and Alan tomorrow. We'll be at Pasadena Comic Con. So if you're local to the area, come and say hi. Admission is cheap, and get some books. So until next week, have a great weekend, and we will see you next Saturday.
If you missed the live viewing of any Meg production, you can find all our content on Roku or as a member of this channel. Madness Entertainment Group.